Hello, I'm Eric Snodgrass, and thank you for watching today's Ag Forecast for South America, brought to you by Nutrien Ag Solutions. Starting with some satellite imagery here, early in the morning we could see some of the smoke from some of the wildfires that are in place here, but watch later on today, here on Thursday, as the storms begin to pop right here, moving into this part of kind of the north central growing regions of Brazil. And what we've been talking about a lot lately is the return of moisture into the monsoon. And as that moisture continues to spread into this area, we expect to see a whole lot more active convection like this moving forward. So let's go take a look at a few things here. First thing we're going to do is kind of piggyback on what we finished up with on Monday in our South American video, and that is to see that this particular area, which had been quite dry, in other words, you saw a lot of these colors, is now in the forecast expected to fill in with much more abundant moisture overall. And the net effect of that is to provide the moisture that's needed to get this monsoon really going. If there's a place I'm concerned about overall in the next 10 days, it's going to be in parts of Brazil's south central growing area. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about there by just watching the precipitation accumulate. So there's a few different things going on here. We do see the convection to the north. So this is what we expect to see from now through early this weekend. So that's going to be the highlighted area. We're going to stay drier to the south and drier to the east for a little while longer. And there still is a weak lingering front over parts of, for example, of Rio Grande do Sul and Santa Catarina. Now that's through Sunday. If we just keep playing into Monday of next week, getting out to Tuesday and Wednesday, and eventually into Thursday and Friday of next week, we do see better chances of convection farther to the north. The last kind of stronghold for the drier conditions is going to be in southern Brazil and over to eastern parts of Brazil. But as you saw in the precipitable water map I just shared with you, we do expect enough moisture to be in place to get the monsoon going there. We do have better rains on fronts that are coming through parts of Argentina, favoring eastern Argentina through Buenos Aires province, coming through Uruguay and into Rio Grande do Sul. But as we finish this up, I'm just going to go ahead and play out the operational run. You'll just start to notice that the model is attempting by day 10 to really begin to fill all of this in. And that's what we're going to be watching out for as we get out there into that week 2 time period. So speaking exclusively about week 2, the European ensemble dries out to the south with higher pressure, and we start to see increased chances of precipitation not only here in Paraná and Sao Paulo, but getting into Mato Grosso do Sul, moving into Goiás and Minas Gerais. These are areas that were kind of the last strongholds for the drier conditions overall. So this is week 2 when we see it all. But just to focus on the next 10 days, just remember that we still have more time where this section of southern Brazil here and pockets of eastern Brazil are going to be waiting on the moisture to return. But this is nothing like we saw a year ago. And I just want to kind of make a couple of points about what we saw a year ago. First, I want to show you this. This is a precipitable water map, and it's for last year, October 1st through the 15th. And this was our problem last year. The deficits in moisture that were coming off of, well, the Atlantic coming into the Amazon, and this is the moisture that gets pulled across here to bring the rains farther to the south. That was the deficit. That was the problem. I just showed you that we're not necessarily there at this point. And then I'm going to show you something else. This was from a forecast I gave back in September 24th of 2020. I'm going to blow this up so you can see it. You see, at that time, the models were picking up on that moisture deficit, and you can see how dry they were calling for the first 3 weeks of October to be. So again, I pulled this out of an archive from a year ago when I was doing forecasting. Now, why I show you that is because the latest forecast looks like this through the month of October. We see that if there's a drier risk, it's farther to the south. Much of the rest of Brazil's growing areas, especially over in the east, really begin to fill in. And even though you see a drier pocket in through here, the models have been very consistent with that and its magnitude, not making it drier, not making it wetter by any noticeable difference. So the net effect of that overall has been one favoring a more normal start to the monsoon as we progress forward through the month of October. And that's what's critical to getting this growing season really off to the strong start. It's that's the October moisture, okay? Another big difference, and I'm going to finish with this. This was what we saw, there we go, in the strength of the monsoon last year. Or, excuse me, the La Nina, not the monsoon. This is La Nina. And you can see how cool the water was in this area. And we had very strong trade winds. We also had a very interesting ocean temperature pattern in the Atlantic, in the South Atlantic. And if you compare it to this year, Much warmer, more humid conditions here feeding the monsoon. And the La Nina is not as strong. And what's important about that is with this La Nina still developing but not as strong, it's not putting more suppression on the monsoon here with respect to the way that the MJ was moving across the equatorial regions. So that's kind of my conclusion as to why I keep seeing a consistent pattern in the longer range forecast from the European. So I'll continue to watch it. We'll get some new data over the weekend and we'll have another look next week, okay? Appreciate your attention. I'll talk to you again on Monday. Thank you.